to the screening room. And now, our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome to Screening Room. I'm Mason Polk.
I'm Sam Brink.
And I'm Madison Baba.
And I'm hoping that you guys are ready to laugh, because tonight we're talking about some of our favorite comedies. And I guess I'll start us off with one of my favorite comedies of all time, Hot Rod. This movie, starring Andy Samberg as Rod, is an absolutely hilarious movie. The story follows Rod as he continues his lifelong dream of becoming one of the most famous daredevils of all time, following in his father's footsteps. His stepfather is kind of the what drives him, as the stepfather constantly beat him up, even though his goal in life was to kick his butt. But then, once his stepfather becomes terminally ill, he needs to raise money to pay for his medical bills so that he can become healthy again, so that he can finally kick his butt. Let's take a look at the trailer.
What's up, little riders? Jump in the public pool tomorrow. Tell your friends. That's just a sample.
Good luck.
Don't worry, Denise. I've done this before.
So, what are you supposed to be?
A stuntman.
Wow.
My safe word will be whiskey.
You mean whiskey?
What?
I just don't get why you're saying it that way.
Why I'm saying what way?
Forget it.
I will forget it. Whoa, whiskey! Whiskey! Oh. Hey, everybody. We have a new crew member today, Denise. So I thought it'd be fun if we all went around and said a little something about ourselves. I like to party.
I like to party.
No, Dave, I just said that I party.
I like to party.
No.
I like to party.
Okay, nobody parties but me.
Yeah, just Rod.
Yes.
And me.
Sweet.
Oh my God, shut up.
Hey, Rod, maybe you shouldn't fight Dad this week.
Relax, Kev. I'm gonna win this time. I did like 40 crunches yesterday.
Get ready to meet your maker. Oh, God! We hadn't even started yet!
I just had a great idea.
One big jump, gentlemen. The biggest jump this town's ever seen. Let's party. If I'm gonna jump 15 buses, my body's gonna have to be in top physical form. Did we reinforce the takeoff ramp?
No, we didn't have time.
Cool. Oh! I've already drafted a rough schedule of exercises that will help us take things to the next level. Oh!
You're a terrible stuntman.
What? You're a terrible stuntman. I'm just kidding. I can hear you. It was just really mean.
From Paramount Pictures.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a jump for the ages. The moment we've all been waiting for. He's going in circles!
Andy Samberg.
Who wants to see me do a big stunt?
Hot Rod.
All great men have mustaches.
Yeah, but real men actually grow them, huh?
You know I have a hormone disorder.
So this movie may not have the most sophisticated humor of all time, but honestly, anything that has Andy Samberg just continuously getting himself into wacky situations and constantly falling into things, I think is pretty funny. They come up with a lot of really creative ways to see him crash and burn, and he always gets back up, and he doesn't let his goal ever fall out of sight. So what do you guys think of this movie as a whole?
Insanely random. Everything about it just came out of nowhere. I think one of my favorite parts was when he falls down the hill and he just keeps falling and keeps falling and keeps falling. And it took about a minute and like 30 seconds for him to stop falling. And I was just absolutely confused, but it was hilarious.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I'd have. That's like one of my favorite scenes also.
Yeah.
But then when he's, walking out into the garage and he gets like hit in the face, he's like, no, not yet. Like, that's also one of my favorite parts, I think, of the film. So, I mean, I think it's really good. It's classic humor.
Yeah.
It's just stuff like it. They have the one scene where, whiskey is my safe word. And say, what am I saying? What way? And you know, it's not exactly the most like original piece, but I think Andy Samberg just pulls it off like gloriously. And then they fall and they crash into the guy's trailer, and then he comes out, and you have his sidekick come out and just beat the crap out of the guys, dumping the garbage on him, and he just picks up his hat. Says, "This is my hat now." It's just stuff like that you know, I think is just hilarious. That part right there is probably my favorite part of the movie.
He has a super good supporting cast with like Danny McBride, Bill Hader, like two great actors too, so that helps a ton. And then I think another scene that was just absolutely random was like the cool beans part. Like where he's like, cool beans, and they just like kept going. I don't know. It was good humor, but it was just so random.
I think it's like also old school comedy. Like they don't really make comedies like that anymore.
That's definitely true.
Yeah. So I think that was like kind of the, you know, there was an entire like genre back then where all those movies were included, like Happy Gilmore and different movies like that. So. Yeah.
It's very Adam Sandler-like humor.
Yeah.
It's kind of just random, you know?
Yeah, but no, definitely. And then, is there any parts you guys didn't like about the movie?
Not really. I don't know. Another good part that I really liked was when he like called all the animal spirits, like the bottlenose dolphin and the house cat, to like come together, and then he still just misses the jump like, awfully.
I don't think there's like any bad parts of the movie. I think it's just like one of those where everybody can find something that they like within the movie, which I think is really good. I think it's just, you know, stupid humor. And I think like everybody can find something funny about that.
And I think one of the reasons this movie has like a special place in my heart was because the first time I ever saw this, I had a night class. So I come back from an exam at like 9:30 at night, and my roommates were watching this movie, and like I didn't do great on the exam, so I was like kind of in a bad mood, and I sat down and watched this movie for the first time, and it just put me in a great mood. I was laughing so hard. So even though this movie came out in like 2007, I only just saw it last year, and since then it became one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely a classic, I'd say so.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so that's all for this one. Next we're going to be taking a look at another comedy, Land of the Lost, but first we're going to take a look at some of the WMCM promos.
The University of Wisconsin-La Crosse brings you a weekly student newscast. Important news. Movie critiques. Weather forecasts. Sports highlights. And local interviews. UWL's own WMCM, run by the students, for the students. Every Thursday at 4:30 on Campus Channel 200 and Charter Channel 989.
Are you a movie fanatic? Tune in on WMCM TV's Screening Room, Tuesdays at 2:45 or 4:30. You can watch on Channel 200 and Charter 989. See you on Tuesdays for Screening Room.
Bombastic paleontologist Dr. Rick Marshall's career, played by Will Ferrell, went spiraling downward when it became well known of his controversial views using Tacon energy as time warps as means to solve the world's energy crisis by transporting fuel from the past, future, or even parallel universes. The only person supporting his theories is Cambridge scientist Holly Carroll, who was forced out of the institution for her views. The reason for her views is that she discovered that in the same desert area as the ancient artifact that had a modern lighter imprinted on it with crystals, with pure Tacon energy, meaning that in her mind, someone from the present must have transported it from a parallel universe. Rick knows that he has to continue his work in this area, and when he discovers the imprint of his own lighter, Rick and Holly take Rick's still in development Tachyon amplifier to the desert area where Holly found the artifact, and in the process, the two, plus Will Stanton, played by Danny McBride, the redneck operator of a roadside attraction, fall through a portal to a parallel universe. When entering the parallel universe, they are intrigued to find random items that are engulfed in the place. However, they lose track of the amplifier and have no way of getting back to the present. They not only have to get the amplifier, but they have to find a way to deal with the multitude of dangers that lurk in the new world which they've entered, including a race of lizard men called Sleestack and a number of different dinosaurs, including the most dangerous, perhaps, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So, what did you guys think of the movie?
Well, this movie, I think for everyone to get like a good grasp what's going on, everyone should see the trailer first.
Yeah.
Because there is a lot going on with this. So
That's true.
Let's take a look at the trailer first.
This is Today with Matt Lauer.
We're back now with Dr. Rick Marshall, whose new book arrives in stores tomorrow. It was back in Oslo that you just startled your colleagues with this theory that takes science in a completely new direction. What exactly is that?
It boils down to two simple words.
Renewable biofuels.
Close. Time warps.
You're serious about this?
I'm deadly serious.
Stephen Hawking says this is nonsense.
You're starting to just sound like an idiot. This interview's over.
That was my guest, Dr. Rick Marshall, whose book arrives in stores tomorrow. You might want to look for it in the I'm Out of My Freaking Mind department. What, are you crazy?
I'm picking up some major tachyon hits in this area. All right, Holly. We'll start with taking some seismic readings inside the mouth of the cave.
Something's happening. This is an earthquake. Greatest earthquake ever known.
I gotta say, I did not see that coming.
Marshall, I think you should come and look at this. Do you realize what this means?
Yes. Matt Lauer can suck it. Did we go back in time? And space.
Drink it in, guys. Maybe the only alternate universe you ever experienced. It's a world of monkey people.
Friends?
Smells good. Lizard people. Mysterious creatures. And dinosaurs. Relax. I think I know a little something about dinosaurs. They have a brain the size of a walnut.
What is it?
It's a walnut.
He's right behind me, isn't he? I knew it. Just trying to be still. I don't think it's working.
So now that we had that trusty trailer to jog our memory a little bit, what do you guys think of that?
Well, personally, Will Ferrell is another one of those comedic actors that I think it just takes the show away every time he's in a movie. I absolutely love this. One of my personal favorite parts is another time, it's kind of a little dumb humor, but they're being chased by the dinosaurs, and Danny McBride character and Howie are like hiding behind rocks, and they're just yelling to him as he's like a little speck running in the background away from the dinosaurs. Just like, you ever get tired of being wrong? He's like, I really do. And like his little speck flies across. Yeah. So I think this one is a lot more creative than the last one we talked about, but just equally as funny. It is absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say the chase scene was also my favorite, but like you said, any movie with Will Ferrell is always really, really funny. He's like one of my favorite actors, so I think that the movie was really well done and comedy prime, I think.
Yeah, I was really torn between like choosing a Will Ferrell movie because I love him, so I was in between, you know, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, two classics, but I don't think many people have seen like The Land of the Lost, like in comparison to those two movies, so I thought, you know, let's choose that one, and I just think it's such a good movie.
It gave me a chance to rewatch the movie. Like I said, like I hadn't seen this movie since it came out like 10 years ago or so.
Yeah.
So I knew like there's a dinosaur in it definitely, but I didn't really remember everything about it. So it gave me a chance to re-experience it, and I definitely love it. We also Danny McBride was also in this movie, like he was in mine too, and he's just really good at playing that comedic redneck sidekick character. I think he's got that down, and he was also just great in this movie.
Yeah, I think also like Chaka, the monkey character guy in it, I think he adds so much to the movie. He's absolutely hilarious, and like his dynamic with Will Ferrell and like Danny McBride, I think they just completely make this movie. It's absolutely hilarious.
I think the cinematography also helps like tell the storyline through and through. And then also like, you know, the CGI and all the graphics and everything that was incorporated with the dinosaurs and, you know, the chase scenes and everything like that. I think it definitely brings that comedy factor together, because without it, I don't think everything would fall flat.
Yeah, definitely. And another part I really liked about it was at the very beginning with the scene with Matt Lauer, how they can like bring in real life characters like that in the movies and just make them work perfectly. And the next movie we're going to talk about actually does that very well with LeBron James and Trainwreck. But before we get to that movie, let's first take a look at those perfect pets.
Hi, my name is Ellie Mae. Meow. I'm a prim and proper gal. I like to keep myself clean and lounge around.
Hi, I'm Ginger. I'm new to La Crescent. Are those treats? I love treats. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, time for a walk.
Hi, my name is Cupid. What are you doing? I like to play, but sometimes I get tired. Okay, see you later.
To find out more about adoption, contact La Crescent Animal Rescue at 507-895-2066.
All right, so let's move on to our third movie, which is Trainwreck, which follows the story of magazine writer Amy, played by Amy Schumer, who follows the preaching of her father when it comes to monogamy. Enjoying a free of commitment life, Amy finds herself wanting more. Assigned to a sports profile and one of the most successful sports doctors in the industry, Aaron Connors, played by Bill Hader, Amy finds herself falling in love. But with her father's teachings engraved in the back of her mind, will Amy let go of her freedom and finally find love? Here's a sneak peek of Trainwreck to find out.
Girls, your mother and I are getting divorced. Monogamy isn't realistic.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
Again.
Monogamy isn't realistic.
I didn't understand that word at the time, but now I know exactly what he was talking about.
Saturday, I would love it if you were my date.
I can't do that because, like, you and I won't ever see each other again.
I wake up late every morning, manager's calling, I'm still yawning.
Good morning.
Oh, Amy. What happened? Did church let out early?
Oh, I like Tom's sweater. Does he teach computer in a church basement?
Don't get all threatened just because you don't understand the concept of marriage.
You dress him like that so nobody else wants to have sex with him? That's cool.
Hey! Hold on, I was drunk last night. I was so kicking in, I don't feel right.
I'm just a modern chick who does what she wants. Last week, it was this guy.
Is that wine in the box?
Hey, Mark Wahlberg, shut up.
Mark Wahlberg? Mark Wahlberg's like 150 pounds. I look like Mark Wahlberg ate Mark Wahlberg.
Before you judge, you should know I'm doing fine. My friends are awesome, my apartment's sick, and I have a great job at a men's magazine.
I like you, Amy. You're clever, but you're not too brainy. You're pretty-ish, and you're not gorgeous. You're approachable.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm giving you an assignment. I need a profile on a sports doctor.
Oh. So you're doing the article, I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interrupt. We watching Downton Abbey later? LeBron, I'm being interviewed. Listen, I'm watching it tonight because I'm not going to go to practice and all the guys are talking about it and I'm left out.
Tall.
You follow sports?
Sports? I love them.
Who's your favorite team?
The Orlando Blooms.
Do you want to go get a drink?
Yeah. What am I doing? I slept at the doctor's place last night.
My boy got intimate.
Yes.
Sexual intercourse.
Oh!
You never spend the night. What were you, blackout drunk?
No, I had like 2 drinks. 3 max. 4 now that I'm tallying.
Because you're on antibiotics or something? Oh my God, he's calling me. Why would he call you? You guys just had sex. This is Amy. I think you butt dialed me.
No, I dialed you with my fingers. What'd she say? What'd she say?
He called me on purpose.
Hang up. He's obviously like sick or something.
I was calling to say I had a really good time last night. I was wondering if you wanted to hang out again.
I'm gonna call the police.
Challenging the genre of mainstream romantic comedy, Amy Schumer brings to life a raw, accessible, and honest woman in her big screen debut. So let's talk about the movie. What was your favorite parts?
My favorite part, I kind of had 2 different parts. One of them is when Bill Hader and LeBron are playing one-on-one basketball, and LeBron is literally just standing still as he's like got his shoulder into him, trying to push him over and everything, and then he just taps the ball away and dunks on him.
Yeah.
And then when he finally scores, he goes nuts. I think just as a basketball fan, that's hilarious. But then also my other favorite is when Amy Schumer has like the full body like suit on, and she's walking, and they're doing everything, and then he makes her jog a little bit, and then she's just like, I'm really tired. I didn't have much to eat today, and she lists off like 17 things that she's eaten that day, and I'm just like, dude, I feel that like cardio sucks. But those are probably my 2 favorite parts.
I think my 2 favorite parts, I think first of all, the dynamic between Amy Schumer and her sisters, so her nephew, her sister's kid.
Yeah.
So funny, because like the kid is just like beyond his years, like he's wearing ties, and he's just super formal, and he's just not acting like a normal kid. And then I think another one is when LeBron James refuses to take the bill when him and Bill Hader are eating, like, come on, man.
Oh, I left my wallet in the car.
He left his wallet in his car, like, it's ridiculous.
No, I also agree. I think the dynamic between her and her nephew is really funny, and she's like, what are you? Like, he's so smart, and then when she's talking to her brother-in-law, and she's like, does he dress you that way? Like, so other people don't hit on you. But my favorite scene would have to be at the end when she comes out in like the full cheerleading like dance uniform, and she does like the halftime show like performance, and it's just like gold to me. I think it's so funny. And when she goes to do like the dunk at the end and just lands like flat on her face, I remember being in the movie theater and I could not stop laughing. Like, I just think it's so funny.
Honestly, I think one of the most impressive things about this movie to me was just the fact that I enjoyed it, because honestly, I'm not really a fan of like Amy Schumer's stand-up all that much. I'm not a LeBron James fan, but I really enjoyed this movie. I thought both of them were great. LeBron kind of went against the normal athlete trope. A lot of athletes, when they try to do movies, are absolutely atrocious actors, but I thought he was super good in it. So yeah, that was pretty much the most impressive part, is that I actually liked it.
And then you have John Cena
as
well, who made a cameo. Like, this opened up his career, I think, for film, when he did, you know, Blockers and everything else after that. So he had a funny cameo being Amy Schumer's boyfriend at the time, and there's a funny scene in that too, which I think is also cool.
Yeah, there's a few. I think the movie theater scene is really funny.
Yeah.
He's just, he's a little confused in that one, I think. And then Amari Stoudemire is already also in the movie, so I think that's a cool cameo too, because he's not even like that amazing of a basketball player, you know. It's just because it was like the New York Knicks, but it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think like the whole dynamic between her whole family dynamic with her dad, and then, you know, monogamy is not realistic. And that it was like bred into her when she was, you know, younger, and it shows her life when she was older. And I think that they did a good way of telling that, where it's like she took on the male kind of role, and then he took on like the female kind of role. So that was cool to see.
And like in the beginning, it starts off with like the thing like with her dad like giving them like the speech, and he just keeps relating it to like the dolls and like all the different types of dolls and like what dolls you want to play with, and it's just it's kind of messed up, but it's funny. I don't know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
So yeah, definitely 3 fantastic movies we watched, and if anyone else wants to, you know, watch these or some other ones that kind of, you know, fall into the same category, some related movies that we also like. The one I picked out was because I love, like I said, my love of Andy Samberg, the movie Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping, that features all 3 of the Lonely Island members. I absolutely love that. The Lonely Island, first of all, not only make great movies, great music as well. So kind of a play on a documentary about like pop stars and everything. It is absolutely, I won't give too much of it away for you guys, but just know that there's an amazing scene where they accidentally kill Seal. So just if that's not enough to make you guys go watch it, definitely go for it.
I'd say my related movie is Step Brothers, because Will Ferrell, amazing. John C. Reilly, also amazing. So many excellent scenes. Their dynamic is absolutely hilarious. I think.
Yeah, that's got to be like the Will Ferrell movie.
And I think that's like comedy, like gold. That's like King of Kings of comedy. Like that is one of the best comedy movies of all time, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think my related movie would probably have to stick with the Amy Schumer route and do I Feel Pretty, which was one of her like newer movies. It's probably the jokes might fall flat with the guys over here. It's insanely funny and has, you know, really good relatable humor for women, you know, with the whole model perfection and the workout classes, and then she hits ahead and then thinks that she's absolutely beautiful but looks the exact same as she did you know, originally. It just like reminds me of every girl who works out like for the first time and comes back and looks in the mirror and she's like, do I look any different? Like, can
Oh,
you notice
yeah.
the difference? It's like,
I've done
no.
six sit-ups. Do I have abs yet? Like, come on.
Yeah. No, it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely relatable.
And if kind of want, maybe if you want to go away from films and you want a nice bingeable TV show, I just can't get Andy Samberg off my mind. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is one of my favorite sitcoms ever. That is just fantastic. It's got so many good characters other than Andy Samberg, like Terry Crews. If you want to laugh out loud right now, I want you to pick up your phones and everyone look up the Brooklyn Nine-Nine Backstreet Boys scene.
Yeah,
it is
I've seen
one
that
of
one.
my favorite scenes in all of TV history. And it, like, honestly, I will look at that. Like, I've seen it 100 times, and I will still laugh every time I watch it. So those are my recommendations for you guys.
Yeah, I think there's some testament when I haven't seen the show, but I've seen that clip all over, and it made me laugh every single time.
Yeah, I've never seen that show, so
Okay.
I'll have to go and do that.
Yeah.
And pick up.
I wanted to start it, but I don't know if I have the time. But we'll see.
Yeah. If you want also another fantastic Will Ferrell movie, I love Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
That was another one I kind of just
Classic.
walked in and my roommates. That was one I couldn't believe I hadn't seen yet, but I hadn't
really?
watched it. And it was another thing I walked in my roommates watching it. And this is another one where I'm just like, guys, this is fantastic. How have I not seen these movies before?
There's like Anchorman and
Oh yeah.
all of those. Yeah, he has so many.
Is there any bad Will Ferrell movies? Like
I
there's,
heard
there's
so.
gotta be, but I just anytime he's in it, I feel like I just have a bias that you know
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be good.
Exactly. I heard the new like Watson Holmes movie wasn't that good, and I had John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, so
Oh.
that is
Well,
just
you know,
upsetting.
if that's true, I'm not gonna watch it because I don't want to see them not do well.
Yeah,
But
exactly. I have yet to
Honestly,
see
you know,
it.
sometimes you get some of those movies where critics might say it's pretty bad and everything.
Yeah.
Or, you know, officially like may not be a good movie, but if it makes me laugh, honestly, that's all I need for a movie to be good. So
Yeah, I agree.
whether other people don't like it, I think I could still handle it.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard for comedies to rate well when it comes to like the tomato meter and different things like that. I know a ton of comedy movies for my podcast. We review them, and it's just like they don't get good ratings. They get about 50%, but I think you have to watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody's humor is different, so definitely watch some of these movies
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely.
Also, if you want to see LeBron James up in action again, Space Jam 2 is coming out sometime soon.
That's true.
I don't think he can recreate the original magic, but after seeing this, I might have to go check him out. But speaking of movies that might be coming up, you haven't seen them yet, if you guys want to check out some movies that are in theaters right now, there are some pretty good ones. We got Dumbo, one of those live-action movies coming from Disney that they've been hashing out. 5 Feet Apart, which is, I've actually seen that one. It was, I think, a little corny, but overall it was a pretty good movie. Captain Marvel, another one of those giant MCU movies, one last one before big Avengers Endgame. And then finally, The Best of Enemies, which I know nothing about. Any of those movies kind of spark interest to you guys?
Yeah, I think the new Dumbo movie by
Yes.
Danny DeVito is one of the main characters in it, so that always piques my interest.
I'm a huge Disney fanatic, so Dumbo for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have some new shows on Netflix coming up. Or actually on DVD, there's Welcome to Marwen. That one has Steve Carell in it. There's also Bumblebee, Holmes and Watson, which I already talked about. John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell. Who knows how good that's going to be, but and then A Dog's Way Home. So any one of those ones?
I mean, I'm a sucker for dog movies, so I'm gonna have to watch A Dog's Way Home. There have been 2 movies that have legitimately made me cry in my life, and that's Bridge to Terabithia, and that's Marley and Me.
Marley and
So
Me, yeah.
dog
Yeah.
movies definitely get me, so I'll have to check that out.
Definitely. And while you're checking that out, also at the Riff right now, we have Green Book, Aquaman, Cold Pursuit, and Gloria Bell. Now, I've seen Green Book, so that's the only one I've seen.
Okay.
So far on the list, I thought it was a good movie. I know there's a lot of controversy surrounding it. It did win an Academy Award this season for the Oscars.
Sure.
That's the only one I can speak to. I haven't seen Aquaman. I heard it kind of fell flat compared to
Yeah.
everything else, but yeah.
We'll have to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that's, you know, DC doesn't have quite the level of MCU, but yeah, if those don't spark your interest and you want to see a free movie instead, students do get free movies at the U. So if you want to go check that out, we've got Escape Room, The Lorax, Expanding Gender, Youth Out Front, and The Lego Movie 2. Any of those, I really want to see The Lego Movie 2.
Yeah,
I
me
saw the
too.
first one, and it absolutely killed me. First of all, just playing with Legos growing up, I kind of had a soft spot for
Yeah.
it, but then I think it was just hilarious.
Yeah, that's another one that had Will Ferrell in it too. So gotta
Yeah,
love Will
I
Ferrell.
can't say I've ever seen either one.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess I'll have to check it out.
Sure.
Well, cool. I mean, I think that looks like all the time that we have time for today. But, you know, I'm glad that we all got to, you know, go out, see some movies. I'm sure we all had a lot of laughs preparing for this. It's not a lot of times for class that you get to go and just like laugh your guts out for a little bit. So I think this was, you know, good part on us for picking such a good topic to talk about today, guys.
Yeah, well.
Awesome.